Oh, it's getting closer to the start of the Premier League season. Welcome back to a live evening show. I don't know what I'm doing. Go to bed and then I suddenly get this urge to bring a show to you. And I think the urge to bring the show to you is because of the breaking news. Well, and as you can see from the title, it was a few hours ago, but we didn't bring it to you. We did not bring it to you because obviously West Ham were taking part in the Betway Cup, winning ourselves another piece of silverware, of course. But the breaking news that came out earlier today was that West Ham have agreed and reached a full agreement with Manchester United over the signing of Wan-Bissaka. So another target of Tim Steidten, and it looks like he's got his man as Wan-Bissaka has entered his final year of his contract at Manchester United, and he will be travelling to London tomorrow morning with a view to starting his medical in the afternoon. And it looks like West Ham are going to try and push forward and get that deal done, signed, sealed and delivered and announced by Monday if they can. Now, apparently Manchester United are expected to receive a fee in the region of around £15 million for the former Crystal Palace fullback, who of course cost Manchester United at the time $50 million. Now, he has made over 190 appearances for Manchester United across 5 seasons, winning the Carabao Cup, FA Cup, before since moving to Old Trafford in 2019. And when Julen Lopetegui was in charge at Wolves, they did try to sign Wan-Bissaka last summer, but that didn't materialise. And Manchester United were and have been looking at trying to bring in Noussair Mazraoui, who, of course, West Ham were chasing ourselves. We did agree a fee with the player and the club, but that move broke down. And it looks like Manchester United are going to get Mazraoui and move Wan-Bissaka on to West Ham. And I think it's another shrewd piece of business by West Ham bringing Wan-Bissaka to the club. He's still got a lot of offer. He's got a lot to offer. He's still got a point to prove. 26 years old, fullback, what we need. And getting him for that money, is a bit of a steal. And to be honest with you, even though it's not necessarily 100% worked out to the standard or what the belief was at Manchester United, he has been a strong, consistent player, you could say, over the years of playing at the club. And to be honest with you, I could battle anyone for saying that there would struggle to find a better one-on-one defensive right fullback. Because really where his game went wrong at Manchester United was because he didn't do well in his progressive moves forward. And if West Ham are going to be playing the style of football I think we're going to be playing, I don't think that's necessarily going to be a huge issue for West Ham, because we need to shore up our defence. That's one of the biggest issues, is shoring up our defence to make sure that we can protect and not concede as many goals as what we have been over the past couple of years. But having someone of Wan-Bissaka's ability, strength, his technical prowess in terms of defensive duties, he's not naturally inclined or wants to get forward maybe sometimes, but his stats don't read that well in comparison to, say, for example, Mazraoui in terms of going forward. But defensively, he trumps loads and loads and loads of defenders. And that's really where West Ham need to 100% fully focus on dealing with our defensive issues. So that's, for me, a great piece of business by West Ham. I'm looking forward to bringing him in. I think it's an absolute brilliant signing, and apparently it doesn't stop there. That's what makes it all very interesting. Now, I just, like I said, I thought I'd bring it to you. I thought, and I know you know it, and I'm taking the piss out of it really a little bit by saying, well, it was a few hours ago in the statement on the conversation. But what a window, man! And as Toby Sampson says here, what a window! What a window! How are Ales? Absolutely about time. Wan-Bissaka. Hold on a minute. Let me just sort this out here. Where is it? About time. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is a hammer. Absolutely. I think a lot of people are really excited by him. Hi, Anton. Good to see you. Jamie, thank you for joining me. Brilliant. Steve Foley. Even Anton Lee, good to see you. There'll be 8 through the door. And the thing is, it's 8. It's quality and quantity, and that's what we've needed. It's pure quality in the quantity of bringing in. What team? What squad? I've got a bit of a semi. That's why I can't go to sleep, mate. I love it. I love it. I thought we knew this is why. I thought we knew this. Why the live? Darren, I'm taking the piss really a little bit. We try to bring you every single story, and sometimes life gets in the way. So I've wrote breaking news. Well, it was a few hours ago. Wan-Bissaka incoming to West Ham. So yeah, bit of banter. And I'm a little bit excited by it, to be honest with you, and who wouldn't be? John says, where do you reckon we'll finish after these 8 players are a part of our team? Again, all depends on really if we do look at bringing someone else in. Apparently, the rumour is that we're not finished here, and we could be looking upwards of 2 more players coming in. And if one of those players ends up being one of the players I think it could be, then I genuinely think it could be up there as, I think it's already up there as one of the best transfer windows we've ever had. But if the other player, if we get 2 more players who I potentially think they are, then wow. Looking forward to seeing the new season. Come on, Tim, you're making history at West Ham United. Love the players coming through the door. Trini says, I think defensively, one-on-one, he is England's best right back. That's what I said there. And Trini, I completely agree with you, 100%. 100%. I think that's going to be, and that's the problem. That's what we need to resolve. And to be honest with you, I think he will get forward, but we don't need him to massively get forward because we're going to have so much creation going forward between. I mean, if you watch the game today and you've seen Summerville, I genuinely thought Summerville is going to cause people problems. From his little bit of a his cameo today, like his strength and his pace and his ability to get round of a player really quickly was quite frightening, to be honest. And obviously, Kudus on the other side looked like he was having a bit of a ball and a bit of a laugh and a bit of a giggle and a bit of an enjoyment in his football. So, I know it's pre-season and I'm very aware of that, but it's nice to see these players and it's nice to see options on the bench. And as Dan or Cess and Luke and everyone and Matt in the West Ham, Richard and the West Ham Network chat were saying earlier on, when you think about our starting 11 last year, James Ward-Prowse, Tommy Soucek, they are, with all due respect to James Ward-Prowse, and I'm not saying it's definitely happening, but they are now becoming our strength and depth. And what a bench. What a bench. This will be a cracking bit of business. Will enable Jared to fly forward without worrying about covering for Sufal. Absolutely. No, absolutely not, because Kyle Walker can get forward and can do really well. So absolutely not. But defensively, he is definitely up there. He's definitely up there. I'm so excited to see the first team he puts out. Could have 6 or 7 new faces in it potentially. Honestly, got no idea how he's going to light us up. I think for the first game of the season, I don't see the dramatic changes, to be honest with you, from the off. What I genuinely could see Antonio starting against Aston Villa. And then I could see Füllkrug coming on, and depending on how his performance is, I think we could see that again depending on the next week. And then over a few weeks, we might see Füllkrug's session into the starting 11. But I'll be honest with you, I genuinely believe West Ham are going to go back in for Duran from Aston Villa. They're showing a bit of a pattern in the way that they're working, and if they really want a target and they really want a player, then that's someone that I think we might do as well. Defensively, he is better than Walker, in my opinion. Could he get back into the England squad? Apparently, he's keen on playing for Congo. I think anyone could. I think it's open really for anyone to prove their worth. I think there's a lot of hysteria built up around West Ham's transfer window, and no wonder. Like, people are taking notice of West Ham's transfer window, and rightly so. It's been wonderful, and I think hopefully we're going to have a pleasantly surprising season. And fingers crossed we do. Fingers crossed we can be consistent and do it. Just make sure the players play together. That's why I don't see 7 or 8 changes instantly at all. I think we're going to have to get these players. I just can't see players coming in and just every one of those players automatically hitting the ground running. I'd love it, but I don't know if I can. A striker would be the cherry on top this window. One will play for us and one for the 4 times consecutive champions. Another striker, maybe James Philkrug will do bits for a season or 2. Come on, you Irons. Anton, I believe J-Lo has said we'll get top 4 in 1 year. Your thoughts? Listen, nothing's off the table. And why should it be off the table? You've got to have belief, and I genuinely think J-Lo and Tim Steidten have belief, and I think the belief is showing in the transfer market, is showing when you go and sign all of these players and show your intent. That West Ham have made a statement of intent, and Todibo is an example of that statement of intent. I said it in the video last night. It's a huge statement of intent by bringing a player of that quality to our club when we're not playing European football, and he's at the height of his career. And we're not playing European football, but we've convinced him to come to the club. And that will probably have a snowball effect onto the rest of the players we're linked to. It's so close. What would make it one? There you go. What would make it a 10 out of 10? You ready? Fofana from Monaco. Fofana. And I think if we didn't get anyone else, I'd say that was 10 out of 10. If we got Duran, I'd say it was 11 out of 10. But Fofana is the one for me. I'd love to bring off Fofana, man. And listen, I know Rodriguez played well today. Again, preseason. I'm happy with that. Good to get a run out and looked the business. And that team never had Alvarez in it either. Fuck me. Like, holy shit. Strength and depth. Wonderful. And great to see George Earthy and come on as well. I seen your YouTube, Carlos. I'm sold. What's that? Sorry, Maltese Hammers. Good to see you. We're currently looking at holidays in Malta right now, but we'll have to go next week, and the prices just aren't favorable for us anyway. I thought I'd let you know that, Maltese Hammer. James Lee also wouldn't complain if we brought in a third centre back and left back squad player, rotation sub. I think that I've heard rumours tonight saying that Aguerd and Dinos Mavropanos are subject to requirements at West Ham. There ain't no way West Ham are selling the 2 of them. There's no way. I can't physically see it. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any business sense. I could see one going, only subject to a big offer. I don't think Lopetegui wants Aguerd to go, because Aguerd offers you the ability to play at left back as well. So I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just trying to think practically about it, and I think that's what could be West Ham's best signing, Super Tim. I tell you what, he's done his fucking job, hasn't he? We should calm down some great signings, but we'll take a while to get them to gel. I agree with that. 100% I do agree with that. But I think, do you know what? I think it's good to get excited by signings, because why not? The quality of signings is top notch, Mark. And listen, I'm aware of, and you're starting to see this now on media panels, and they're talking about West Ham's business. And I've seen something even on TalkSport saying, should West Ham be looking at the Champions League? And in my head, I'm going, calm down. But it's open for anyone really within reason. If you start the season well, we know we can score goals. We just need to stop conceding goals. That's the other big issue as well. I think it's an option. I do. Duran's still on, allegedly. Apparently, I think it is. I think he wants to do that. Absolutely. Duran, yep. At this rate, we'll get more in than the Forest did a couple of years ago. The difference between West Ham and Nottingham Forest is that West Ham have shipped players out, and Nottingham Forest didn't. And I think they went and signed some crazy amount of players. Plus, the players that they brought in didn't necessarily add to their core, where West Ham are adding to our core of players already. Think about it. Paquetá, Bowen, Kudus, Areola. I'm just working my way through the team. Emerson, so Areola, Emerson. The ones I'm just thinking naturally will start moving forward. Emerson, Areola, just moving through the back, then through the middle, and on the wings. Who would start? Alvarez, Bowen, Paquetá, Kudus. So that's 6. I think in the first game of the season, Antonio will. That's 7. Yeah, something like that. So, and even Tony's an option as well. Yeah, I still think Duran may come in after we play Villa. Absolutely. Hey, Anton, great live, mate. This transfer window's mind-blowing. Duran could still be on 100%. It could be Jay, the sole coach. Absolutely. Just look at his stats as well as watching him play regularly. I'd love Tony. I don't understand why no one's moving for Tony, but maybe there's some underlying situations going on there. Hello, Jay. Good to see you. I'd go with Tony as well. Not playing Europe is going to help our league form considerably, absolutely. And it's a case of managing the expectations of the players. That's something I think West Ham have struggled with over the years. But bringing in the quality that we have, there must be some, Lop, J-Lo and Tim must have it all down, man. They must have some of the best communication skills that possibly are in existence in the footballing world. Because if you can go and hijack, then why words? Well, at least there was some enthusiasm, but I'm not getting carried away. Notice today that Kudus wasn't tracking back, which is encouraging. Just do what he's good at, absolutely. And did you see like the freedom that some of those players had, even Paquetá through the middle as well? It's exciting. It really is exciting. The big but to that one, though, West Ham faithful, is the defence. As long as our defence are cooking, and they're rocking and rolling, and I think the pace that Wan-Bissaka brings, I think the pace that Emerson Palmieri brings is great. And as long as we can get a partnership kicked up between Kilman and Todibo as soon as possible, then that would be fantastic. Go! Freno says, are we going for Champions League football? I think we should aim as high as we possibly can. I think Kudus holds on to the ball too much. I'll be honest with you, Ralph. I want Kudus to hold on to the ball too much, and I would rather him attempt 5 dribbles and fail in 4 and score 1 every single game, because you want players like him to try and achieve to do what they are set out to do. That's his game. That's his style of play. I think last season, under the model that we played with, for example, Paquetá, I think he held onto the ball too long in dangerous areas. And I think we'll say the same question for Paquetá when we start the season, because in a more forward position, he'll hold onto the ball and possibly lose it. But I'd rather them lose it up there than in our own half, which is what we were doing last year. Tim could end up being talked about long after we leave this world. I'd love to see him offered stock. I'm talking 1 to 3% as it means to keep him going to Liverpool or City. Top 4 in an FA Cup. Listen, I'll tell you right now, if you asked me the question, I'll ask you all the same question. What would you take come the end of the season? What's your minimum expectation? I am excited and I really want to get carried away. I'm trying to heart over head here, or head over heart. But if I was to be reasonably practical in this situation, I should say West Ham should go for a cup. And try and finish in top 7. And I don't think that's unreasonable with a new team and the new players and a new head coach, because we've been there or thereabouts in the last 4-ish seasons, 3 seasons. So I think the challenge needs to be top 7. I think you need to just have that as an aim. And I think that is within his aim, because obviously we know J-Lo wants it in the first year. Antonio ain't finished yet. Guarantee he scores at least 6 Premier League goals this season. He's not finished yet. Fact. He's not. I agree with that. Only will selling Souček will make this window a 10 until we still have a Moyes baller slowing us down. To be honest with you, though, Muddy, having him come off the bench, what an option. What an option. He had a couple of chances today as well. Was it me, or did we play 3-4-3 today? I think we played fucking everything today, mate. Todibo is a good sneaky business also, absolutely. Summerville looked sharp, he really did. Was really surprised we got Todibo, maybe the best signing so far. See, this is the way to do it, David Moyes. I think Souček off the bench to consolidate a lead, or even when we throw the kitchen sink in the last few minutes, a great option. Ings is the one we really should shift. Yeah, I think you'll see movement now over the next few weeks on Danny Ings. I think you'll see a bit of movement on Maxwell Cornet. Just 2 to name a couple. And I think it's going to take a bit of a crazy offer for someone like a Gerd to leave. I think that is the only option. That's the only way he leaves. If it's same money back or a lot more. I still think there's a player there, whether or not people thought he was a bit sluggish today. But I think that what I think the issue with Gerd is he came to West Ham with a lot of high hopes, and he was a quality player, and we got to see some of that quality, but he got injured before the season could start, and he then went to the World Cup, and really he only made his West Ham debut in the January of... When was the World Cup? Yeah, January of 23, because the World Cup was in the winter. So he only made his West Ham debut in January of 23. So he's only been here a year and a half of playing football in a year and a half. And he played under a David Moyes system, which was a low block defense. He's not a low block defender. So if it takes weeks and weeks and weeks to bring out what Rennes and Morocco are used to having as a Naïf Aguerd, we cannot look past Naïf Aguerd. We can't, because there is genuinely, sincerely, a good defender there. As long as he can play in the system under Lopetegui, that is, of course. Thought Souček played well, even though many giving him abuse. Souček had a good game today. Good to see Alex, mate. Hope you're well. Join us. We'll have some exciting stuff coming up your way. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Duran, that's the 10. Todibo will need to start next week. Can't go in with Mavro and Kilman. No, I've always said, I've said it in the nicest possible manner. Jury's still out in Mavropanos. However, if he is back up, I'll happily take that. I really would. I'll be happy with Mavros' Dinos' backup. Can't shift Ings if he doesn't want to leave. Toby Sampson. Yeah, but we can pay up or we can look at a loan deal, all that sort of stuff. JWP looked like the one that could afford to replace. To be honest with you, I mean, I think he's going to get quite a bit of game time this year. I think he is a threat. Fuck me, he's a threat when he puts those balls in, and the stats read well through every single season in the Premier League. And I think Lopetegui's got a little secret weapon there, and I think he's going to utilise that secret weapon this season. And I tell you what, if West Ham can defend to the ability that we can, I think if you do see a player of JWP's force coming onto the pitch, then fuck me, look at the strength and depth that West Ham have suddenly got. You know, you're chasing a game. Okay, what do? You put someone on who can ping that ball into the box. You've got Phil Krug in the box. Then you bring Souček on if you really want to try and bang in a goal. There are options. Souček is a physical player that doesn't, and that does as he is told, and is it very technical. He optimizes Moyes' football, and for a lot of fans, they still can't get Moyes out of their thoughts. No, they certainly cannot. What do you think of Jared as captain? Do you know what? He deserves it, but for me, it's not a player who plays in that position that should be captain. I'm so traditional. I've got traditional values in terms of football. I was a centre back myself, and I think it should be. I don't even think it should be a keeper. I think it should be someone in that defence or your central defensive midfielder. I'm not agreement that you give it to the person who's been at the club the longest. But as long as you've got a voice, I think Bowen does have a voice. My issue is if he plays so far up, then the communication level, and I think there is such a strong communication when you are a centre back. But I don't know who it would be. I don't know what Todibo's English. It seems well, it seems good, but is he captain material? Max Kilman obviously was captain at Wolves. You don't give it to Wan-Bissaka, you don't give it to Emerson. Who else do you give it to? That's the other issue. Alvarez. But then again, he's going to be missing every 6 games because he'll pick up so many yellow cards. Souček is safe for me. Want progressive. Signed Duran on a free transfer next year. Been a while since I've been in a live, but wow, what a window. How are you, Anton Quattro? I am very well, mate. I'm the same as you, which is buzzing for that one. I think we'll go back for Duran and another midfielder. We're so close to having our best window ever. We might be there already. Who do you think will leave? If I can mention it, Ings, Cornet, just to name a couple of players. I think we'll see a lot more movement with the youth players heading out the door to go and get experience, which is good. I don't want George Earthy to head out the door. I think Freddie Potts will head out the door, not full time, but on loan. I think George Earthy might be the one that will kick about. That'll be interesting to see what happens there. But yeah, of course, keep your eyes on this channel. We'll keep you up to date. I know what would happen, Matt, but I was just saying it would improve the window. Does Summerville start for us versus Villa? I'm telling you now, mate. He looked a crazy threat. He did. And I think what you've got here is a difficult decision Lopetegui's going to have, because you've got options. And if you think of just that forward line of Summerville, Kudus, Paquetá, Bowen, I mean, I've not even included Phil Krug, Antonio, like options. Fuck me. Imagine we had that options. If we had those options in Europa League, or holy shit. I do think we are okay for FFP. I think it's a show we should do. Myself and Russ will have a conversation in Holly about this, and we'll talk about West Ham's FFP. But I think as much as we're spending money, the option, the loan signing on Todibo with an option is a very good deal. So don't forget that one. That's not the money now. That's just the loan fee. So that's not the 40 million euros that we're hearing in the mainstream media. That will be put forward for next year. So that's a clever bit of business there. And of course, remember, we did generate some incomings when we got rid of Benrahma, etc. as well. Alvarez, captain for me all day long. I agree. I think Aguero will go out of him, and I think Aguero will go out of him and Mavropanos. But then, where's your backup? I think you need more than 3 centre halves in your team. Do we need more centre mids? Say we sell Suchek and JWP. We still have Paqueta, Alvarez, Rodriguez, Irving, Potts, Orford if he doesn't go out on loan. So I'm glad you put all that up there. I think Irving will go out on loan. I think Potts will go out on loan. I think Orford will also go out on loan. So that would remove those three, and that would leave us with Paqueta, Alvarez, Rodriguez, and then obviously Suchek and JWP. You could see one. I don't think JWP will go. I don't think Suchek will go. But if we brought Fofana in, then someone else does need to go. Absolutely. I love Bowen as our captain. He's the only top player we have that definitely isn't going anywhere into the next few years. Our best signing is Tim himself. Mavro, Kilman, and a Gerd back three. Get a feeling Sefao is still on his way out, and the kid Martinez is coming in for cover. Interesting thoughts, absolutely. Has Bowen been announced as captain for the season? No, he's not. But he obviously was for today. Won't happen. Jade is sole coach to Indiscipline. Sell JWP and Suchek while they have some value. I just don't see them selling JWP at all. I think he's got a place in the team, not the starting team, but in the squad. First time ever we planned our work early. Now we just need to work on the plan. Exciting season ahead. Predict a European finish. The key is doing your work early. We were being desperate for it for such a long time. We haven't done it. And also got cover for the African Cup. Yeah, we do. Thought Guido was class today. Just met his teammates. He looked like he'd played for them for ages. Absolutely. Not sure about top four, but we're definitely finishing in a European position. Captain needs to see what's happening at the back. More bonds. That's how I vibe. That's how I get the vibe. 3 players may have to go to balance the players in and out books. Wanted to do a show on that. Also, Forrest didn't have 100 million for Rice plus money from European competition and many seasons in the Premier League. Yep. JWP, Corney, and Ings. F3. Well, Spurs won't get Tony having bought Solanke. No, they won't. Absolutely. Yeah, good point. Solanke has officially signed for Spurs tonight. As you're reading the team out, it's scary and unbelievable. You can say that again. More depth in this West Ham team than I've ever seen. Long may it continue. And it's not just depth, it's quality in the depth. That's what's really cool. That's what's nice. 7th, 6th, and 5th is achievable as most teams around us will be slogging it in Europe. So Fowler's a legend, but he can't be our first choice right back anymore. I'd rather him move on and give one of our youth a go, a backup at Wan-Bissaka. I don't think this will be the year for youth. I really don't. It's not that I don't want it. I want it, but I don't think it will be. Fair play, Ralph. In my opinion, club captain has to be more than just the 90 minutes. I think the man is a lot more important in that position. Yeah, good point. Thought Southampton would pay a bit for JWP. Tony would surely cost too much. Rumours there is a problem with Tony, not injury, but an underlying back issue. He keeps going back. Oh, God. We go for these strikers. Artem Dojvic and Benjamin Sesko. Alex Churchman says 7, top 6. Troj says Fornals is better than Kudus on the left. What? European spot. I'm realistic. Euro has to be realistic. Top 6 and the cup. This is an answer to what I said. What's your minimum requirement? Top 7 and a good cup run. Please tell me Tim doesn't have a minimum release clause. Joking aside, can we keep a hold of him? Absolutely, I think we can. I think it's listen, we can't keep a hold of fucking Tim as he's gone and hijacked half of these deals of these quality players and convinced them to come to our club. Then then something's wrong. So he's been given free reign and he's proven his worth right now. Top half in the cup, top 7 without a cup. Either way, get into Europe by any means. If we do get Duran, I think it'll be after we play Villa. Passion needs to be managed. I love Bowen, but Bobby Moore is my perfect captain. Actually, Ashley, being realistic, top 10 is a really good at one of the cups. The new coach and players will need time. However, I do have faith. WH58, top 8 and a domestic cup run. We got to aim for top 6, 7 challenge for Europe. 100% agree. I do like that. I take any path to Europe. If it's through a cup and we get top 10, that would be a brilliant season, in my opinion. El Duderino, absolutely. Beat the lower clubs this season. Just fucking beat everyone this season. Why would they have reason to leave? When we click next season, we're going to be scary for lots of teams. To be honest with you, I think we can click up front immediately. I'm confident of our going forward. I really am, especially with the piece of business we've brought in there. And I think that's why we're potentially looking at players like Fofana. I genuinely do, because I think he shuts up shop. But he is that typical box to box. He is. If you bring Fofana in, there's just no need for Suchek. That's it. The words are in the song. Why can't the dream come on you irons? A Gerd doesn't look unhappy today in preseason game. He's class. Moyes' ball was about his game. That was his problem, not his game, absolutely. I also believe these players were offered Champions League in 1 year and they came on. It's a win-win. Alvarez might leave in a year. Well, to be honest with you, if we don't do something this year, we could lose a few of the players. Bowen is great at corners. Wan-Bissaka is for sale. He's coming to the West Ham. Remember how JWP started last season? All their players have been awesome at some point. Duran is kicking off because he's not the main striker. Will be the same if he comes to us. I can see 2 players going. If he plays JWP, Suchek, and Sufal all at once, it doesn't matter who they are. They cannot play together. I thought Sufal did okay today. I didn't think Thomas was any different as usual. If you had to put blame on the goal that Celta Vigo scored, then his clearance just wasn't ideal. We obviously headed the ball directly to the player, but that's it. I love Bowen. He will support him as a captain, but I agree Alvarez could be a better captain. Guido looks like he's completely coordinating defense when on the pitch. Yeah, absolutely. Looks like he rules the roost. Damien's in the house. Good to see you, my friend. Anton, what makes you hopeful on Fofana? What a question. What a question. Right. So we have had some form of correspondence with Monaco. We had some correspondence with Nice over Todibo. Todibo wanted Juventus. Fofana wanted Milan. And nothing has transpired. West Ham still holding interest in the player. Rumours were kicking about suggesting that Manchester United should go for Fofana, but no one has gone for Fofana yet. Now, there's a gentleman's agreement between the owner of Monaco to say you can leave this season as long as we receive a reasonable fee. And I think West Ham are willing to pay that reasonable fee. And if you look at the history of how West Ham have done our business this summer, and we're apparently strongly linked to bringing a player in that's been mentioned in this summer, that player is going to be Fofana. I am absolutely not building that from any other place except for working out how we're trying to work out how we've done our business. Todibo on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off. Summerville on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off. Philkrug on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off. Nearly all the signings we've brought in have been on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off. And suddenly, when we've pushed forward with one of our main targets, bang, they come in the door. French, international, knows Todibo, knows Areola. Could be convinced. I watched the video on him earlier by Spanish runners. Reckon Guido strolls into our first team straight off the beat. Interesting. Guido's scanning his next level. Eyes everywhere. Once we cut off the sloppiness, we'll be fine. Damien's had a few beers. I think so. Where are we? Come on, you irons. There's an obligation for... Well, this is... I don't get it, right? Because West Ham today have announced on their website that it's an option. So who's saying it's an obligation? Moses Chops has said it's an obligation. Fabrizio Romano, but West Ham themselves have announced on their website it's an option. So I don't know what's happening here. We don't start paying higher to the wages until next summer. Only part of him and the wages we get in Nice until next year. Brilliant business by Steidten. Absolutely. Antonio, good to see you. Damien, hope you're buzzing, mate. I think you are. Bowen has no reason to leave. I can see him finishing his career with us. Kilman, the expensive signing, end up disaster, and the free transfer ends hammer of the year. It's the West Ham way. I don't see it with Kilman in terms of being a disaster. I think pre-season, I think that it's a whole new defense, and he has been playing with chops and changes and different, wait till he settles in. Come on, you irons. Who's knocked the sense into Sullivan to loosen the purse strings? JWP out. Well, Farrell would love that. Come in, you irons. Watch the game after our shit show versus Pompey with a focus. Obviously, with Summerville, his debut in the minutes he got was impressive. Remember, we had 2 recent windows where we spent nothing, absolutely. Spending rice money on and Kuda's future profit. Potts is ready to be in the squad. I just don't see it. I see him being ready for the squad. I don't see how he gets into the squad. Getting a bit worried about hearing nothing about the Zuma medical. I don't know. I find it fascinating. If you watch the West Ham game today, the commentators on the West Ham stream were talking about him going to the UAE. So it must be close. I mean, he's not even featured today in the squad or anything like that. So there'll be someone kicking about looking for him. Success would keep Steidten here. So that's the Debo lad. His stats in the air don't seem amazing. Is he another D-up? It's an interesting take. No, he's not, because he's not a player that Diop got nowhere near the French national team. So, or the national team anyway. So I saw the green shoots of us keeping the ball earlier. Too much passing backwards today. Listen, it's pre-season. I saw a mixture of opinions from people. Some people saying that's amazing. Who am I watching? But I'm very aware that when West Ham get beat, the first thing people turn around and say is pre-season, and it was pre-season. So I wouldn't worry about it. Okay, top six in one of the cups. Come on, West Ham United. Apart from Fulkrug, all the new signings have a selling value too. Absolutely. Anton, I'm pissed and stoned at home in Spain. I love this positivity. Football is coming home, and I'll stand by this manager. We need change. We need football. Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you think we'll make a last-minute bid for Tony, considering that Spurs have bought Solanke? It's an interesting point of view. Shit, man. Could you imagine we fucking brought Ivan Tony? Fucking hell. Could you actually imagine we brought Ivan Tony in? I don't know what you call that. That would be well above 10 out of 10. X said this clause in his contract to turn a loan into a permanent move easily. Well, there's an option. I just don't know what the option. It's not an obligation. Obligation means it's happening next year. The option means that you've got a chance. Wasn't mentioned somewhere that it's an option to buy, but obligation is a trigger on appearances low number. We're going to win the league. I really hope these signings work out. Since it costs us like 170 million this window. It's an option that turns into an obligation after certain criteria is met. It hasn't been stated, but what it is. But I guess X amount of games started. There he is. Stato's in the house. It's supposedly easy to achieve before Christmas, so I guess 10 to 15 starts. He's alive. He is. Listen, it's not from us not trying to get him on. He just, I don't know what he's been doing. What have you been doing, Matt? We do talk to him every day, but what has he been doing? Like, everyone's missing you, mate. Everyone's missing you. I wanted us to look into Solanke, but not at 65 million. Shocked that Old be paid that much. I think there's a desperation there, to be honest with you. And I think Solanke's a great player, and I would have liked West Ham to bring a Solanke type player to the club. I think he would have really worked well at West Ham, but 65 million quid, man. Fuck me, Bournemouth couldn't knock that back. They could not knock that back at all. Only disappointment was Fulkrug, to be honest, and he was who I was expecting most from today from the new signings. Champions of the Betway Cup, we know what we are. Matt, there you go. Everyone's buzzing for you, mate. Really impressed with Rodriguez, though. Glad to see the signings that fit the West Ham style. Fulkrug is our German Andy Carroll. The PM is going to smash the Spuds and the Kings. There wasn't too much passing back. If we want possession, it's going to happen. You don't get possession without stop your moaning and whining little bitches. It was mile better than Moyes. But fucking hell, Sean, mate. Sean, you've had a few shandies, as Toby has said. But there you go. There you go. We're expecting Wan-Bissaka to come in as the next here we go for West Ham as we start to move into the market for other players. Now, let me see if Russ has uploaded this video. He has not. I don't believe he has. So that does bring an end. There we go. Look. So achieve what's going to happen. Almost guaranteed unless he does a Calvin Phillips. Fucking hell. Who? Totally forgot about him. Listen, it's bedtime for me. Next door neighbor's alarm's going off. So listen, thank you very much, everyone, for watching. I hope you're safe and well. Join us in the morning as we should have more of an update regarding Wan-Bissaka coming into West Ham as the next signing, as it looks like we're not stopping there. If you are new around here, please hit that cheeky subscribe button. We do genuinely and sincerely appreciate it. It's been absolutely mental journey on the West Ham network, so we do appreciate all of your support as per usual. And yeah, join us over the next week because we've got lots of match day content coming your way in relation to the Aston Villa game. I can't believe this time next week West Ham will have played the first Premier League game under the 24-25 season, and we're going to have a lot of content coming your way for it. So take it easy, everyone, and come on, you Irons.